Beneath the blistering sands of Egypt lay whispers of treasure too sacred to touch, too cursed to claim. For most, such tales were warnings. For Harakhty, they were invitations. A tomb robber known for his audacity and ruthlessness, he had plundered riches that seemed untouchable, diving headfirst into legends others dared not whisper. The tomb was hidden deep within the Valley of the Kings, its entrance buried beneath centuries of wind-blown sand. Its doorway marked with hieroglyphs of warning, "Keep thy hands from the treasures of the gods, lest thou face judgment eternal." The air was heavy, suffocating, as Harakhty descended into the forbidden tomb. Walls brimming with intricate frescoes depicted the River of Souls, where the spirits of the dead journeyed through the underworld. But Harakhty's gaze lingered only on gold, a treasure far greater than he imagined. He laughed as he reached the burial chamber, its sarcophagus bathed in moonlight streaming through a jagged crack in the tomb ceiling. Around it lay riches beyond his wildest dreams, chalices, necklaces, masks, all untouched by time. But there, atop the sarcophagus, rested an obsidian amulet carved into Anubis's likeness. Ignoring the crawling fear that tickled his spine, Harakhty seized the amulet with shaking hands. And in that instant, darkness fell. The torchlight winked out as winds roared into the chamber, howling like anguished souls. Sand spiraled around him in waves, and the walls seemed to melt into shadows brimming with monstrous forms. Harakhty gasped, stumbling back as the burial chamber collapsed. The last thing he saw was Anubis's carved figure upon the sarcophagus glowing, his jackal eyes ablaze with fury. When Harakhty awoke, he was not in the tomb nor amidst the sands of Egypt. He stood on the banks of a vast, blackened river, the Duat, the realm of the dead. Cold, otherworldly winds whispered in his ears, carrying fragments of unseen voices. Before him loomed Anubis, towering and regal, his form both animal and divine, his golden staff glowing with an unearthly light. "You dare trespass into the sacred?" Anubis growled, his voice shaking the very air. "You desecrate what is blessed by the gods, and yet it is not your greed alone that condemns you, it is your defiance." Harakhty fell to his knees, trembling. "I meant no harm, great Anubis, I only sought—" "Silence!" Anubis snapped, his staff slamming into the ground with deafening force. "You have unleashed the wrath of the sacred. You will face judgment. Yet I grant you a choice. Eternal torment within the depths of the Duat, where your flesh shall burn but never die. Or a trial, one that may yet cleanse your wretched soul." Before Harakhty could respond, the winds shifted, and monstrous shadows rose from the waters, the fragmented forms of past deeds. They clawed toward him, echoing the screams of those whom Harakhty had betrayed, cheated, or killed in life. Anubis gestured to the river's edge, where a narrow, blending path of stone led deeper into the underworld. To redeem your soul, you must navigate the treacherous trials of the Duat, cross the River of Souls, endure the judgment of the scales, and reach the gates of final judgment before they close. Fail, and your spirit shall dissolve into nothingness. Shaking but desperate, Harakhty accepted the trial, stepping onto the stone pathway. Immediately, the underworld came alive. Shadows twisted and lunged, their whispers clawing at his mind. The river itself roared, its waters teeming with spirits dragging him toward its depths. He fought against curses that manifested as storms of sand, each grain a needle against his skin. With each step, the darkness of his past loomed closer, haunting him. At last, Harakhty faced the ultimate test, the scales of Ma'at, where a single feather determined the weight of his heart. As Anubis's jackal gaze bore into him, Harakhty's entire life flashed before him, every theft, every betrayal. He saw as much cruelty as desperation in his acts. The scales trembled. Would his soul rise worthy, or would judgment cast him into eternal oblivion? The final verdict awaited.